Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Path of the Prophets. Today we are at St. George's Church and Monastery, an Eastern Orthodox, Greek Orthodox church and monastic institution. I believe there's a nunnery here as well. And I wanted to just briefly talk about comparative monasticism, because the monastic institution is found around the world. It's very well known within the Christian world, which is maybe 1800, 1900 years old. There is a proto-Christian monastic style tradition among the Essenes around the areas of Sham and around the Dead Sea area where the Dead Sea Scrolls are found. Also, we have, of course, the Buddhists in India and the Jains in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh historically, and then as they spread into Central Asia and across into China, Japan, Korea, down into Vietnam. So monasticism, it's a very old tradition that's worldwide, where people would engage in asceticism, detaching from unhealthy, materialistic, worldly endeavors, and then diving into prayer, fasting, contemplation, contemplating and meditating on the breath, body sensations, on sound, on seed syllables, on like Om, or in the Sufi tradition Kun. We within the Islamic tradition there are people who have engaged in a hermetic type of lifestyle, where they would go and do short retreats for periods of time, maybe 40 days, sometimes for a few years, and then go back into married life, into business life. Retreats for healing, for being made whole after, monasticism, if you look into it, there's a strong connection between warriors having engaged in war and having PTSD, and then with this PTSD over time, they need to work through their issues. And so oftentimes they will go into nature, and they will engage in deep prayer, fasting, meditation, contemplation, in order to heal, to be made whole, because they're in a broken state. To be, they've done many sinful things during war, because war is full of sin. War is not a pure righteous thing in most instances. Now, yes, justice can be had, but most people who are engaging in combat have not come into a mature state, a spiritually mature state. They've not overcome the nafs by any means. And they, so they are engaged in things that then make them feel grief-stricken and guilt-ridden. And so you often find across the world, a monastic tradition follows an intense period of warfare in many instances. And we see that within Sufism, we see that within Buddhism. For instance, the Buddha himself and Mahavira in the Jain tradition, they both came from the warrior caste in ancient South Asia. And you will see this straight across the world in many martial societies, many warlike societies.